We begin our discussion of the skull by talking about the two major regions of the skull, the cranium, which is the part of the skull that surrounds and protects the brain, and the facial bones, the bones that are on the front porch, so to speak, of the skull, and which surrounds and protects the eyes, the nasal cavity, and the beginning of the digestive system, the oral cavity. So we divide the skull into the cranial bones and the facial bones. So let's look at the cranial bones first. Of the cranial bones, there are a total of 8 bones, but only 6 names, because 2 of the bones are going to be paired in the fully formed adult skull. So we start off with the frontal bone, and the frontal bone is a name that derives from the word frons, which simply means forehead. So this is the bone of the forehead. Then we have paired parietal bones. The word parietal means wall, and we're going to see this word used in other places in anatomy with essentially the same meaning, wall. It's going to be a fairly undistinguished bone in terms of features. It's going to mainly form most of the wall of the superior part of the skull. Then we have the occipital bone. The occipital bone comes from a word in Latin, occiput, or occiputium, which simply means back of head. Then we have the paired temporal bones, which are found on the sides of the head, in the location where you first see your hair turning gray, the first place where you start to see the passage of time, and temporal refers to the passage of time. Then you have the sphenoid bone, and this word means wedge-like. This is the only bone of the cranium which is going to articulate with all bones of the cranium. So it kind of forms a wedge between all the other bones, and the word sphenoid means like a wedge. Oid is a suffix which is always going to say that something is like something else. And the suffix is also used in the name of the next bone, the ethmoid. And here, the bone is like a sieve. And we'll see when we look at these bones in detail why the ethmoid is referred to as sieve-like. Here we have an actual human skull where the bones have been disarticulated from one another. And here we can see the bones of the cranium, the 8 bones of the cranium, and separated from them, we have below the facial bones, of which we can see some. Here we can get a better view of the cranial bones, the 8 bones that form the cranium. You have, again, on the front, where you have your forehead, you have the frontal bone, then forming the greater part of the wall of the cranium, we have the parietal bones. Then at the back of the skull, we have the occipital bone. On the sides, associated with the ear, we have the temporal bone. At the base of the cranium, we have the bone which articulates with every other bone, which is the sphenoid. Then finally, superior to the nasal cavity, we have the bone that is referred to as the ethmoid bone.
Here is a Gray's Anatomy figure that will summarize the cranial bones for us nicely, because even though it was drawn some time ago, probably more than 100 years ago, it's still a fairly decent figure, and it shows the relationship of all the cranial bones. So here you have the frontal bone again, and it is an unpaired bone unless there's a frontal suture, a metopic suture. We'll look at it later in greater detail. Then over here we have one of the 2 parietal bones, and back over here at the back of the skull we have the occipital bone. Here we have on the side one of the 2 temporal bones, so the temporal bones are paired. And then right over here we can see part of the sphenoid bone. And the sphenoid bone, again, is a single bone. If we look closely over here, inside the wall of the orbit, we'll see part of the ethmoid bone. So the ethmoid bone is right over here. And so these 6 bones, with 2 of them being paired, give us the 8 cranial bones.